Welcome back. Today, we're tackling something that could fundamentally shape the next 3 decades of your life: how you navigate that critical first year after you stop working. You spent your entire career building towards this moment, but these first 12 months will set the trajectory for everything that comes next. It's not just about numbers on a balance sheet. It's about meaning, purpose, relationships, and how you actually feel day to day. Let me walk you through the strategic moves that matter most and the pitfalls that could derail you. Start with purpose, not just freedom. Here's what research consistently shows us. People who establish some kind of rhythm in retirement report significantly higher satisfaction levels than those who treat it like permanent vacation. A structured day doesn't need to be rigid. It's simply about having direction. Think about what retirement actually looks like. You get the freedom to sleep in, great. But one extra sleep in per week versus having something meaningful to do 5 days a week, that's an imbalance. The same goes for travel or special outings. They happen occasionally, but what fills the other 300 days a year? The real transition isn't from working to not working. It's retiring towards something new. Maybe that's volunteer commitments. Maybe it's deeper relationships with family. Maybe it's finally pursuing that hobby you've shelved for 40 years. The point is, you need a new narrative, not just free time. Without it, that freedom starts to feel hollow. Get crystal clear on your spending pattern. Your relationship with money is about to change dramatically. You're moving from steady paychecks to managing your own cash flow, drawing from Social Security, pulling from retirement accounts, maybe some part-time income. Everything is different now. Here's something most people underestimate. New retirees typically spend 15 to 20% more than they projected in year one. Why? Because you're finally saying yes to things. Travel you postponed, home upgrades, generous gifts to grandkids. None of that is wrong, but it needs to fit within your realistic plan.
The smartest approach is simple. Split your expenses into 2 categories. Essential expenses, housing, utilities, medications, groceries, basic insurance, and discretionary, travel, dining, entertainment, hobbies. Knowing the split matters because when the unexpected hits, you know exactly where you can adjust without panic. Whether you use a spreadsheet, an app, or paper and pen, the key is visibility. The more clearly you see where money goes, the longer your savings will actually last. Build a safety net before you need it. The biggest threat to early retirement isn't inflation. It's not taxes. It's getting forced to sell investments during a market downturn when you've just started withdrawing. That's when losses become permanent and portfolios struggle to recover. That's why a cash reserve isn't optional. It's foundational. A practical approach: hold enough cash to cover 1 to 2 years of your shortfall. That shortfall is your annual expenses minus what Social Security or a pension guarantees. Let's say your essential costs are $50,000 a year and Social Security covers $30,000. Your shortfall is $20,000. A 2-year buffer means keeping $40,000 in a high-yield savings account or short-term treasuries. This buffer does something powerful. It lets you wait out market downturns without selling. That psychological and financial breathing room is invaluable. Think of retirement income in 3 layers. First layer, your immediate cash reserves. Second layer, medium-term money in conservative investments or bonds, maybe 3 to 5 years worth. Third layer, longer-term growth portfolio in stocks to fight inflation over decades. Together, these layers give you peace, they buy you time, and they provide growth. You've built something that survives both bull and bear markets. Get smart about Social Security timing. This is one of the most powerful moves you can make, and it's completely under your control. For every year you delay claiming Social Security past your full retirement age, your benefit increases 8% annually. That's guaranteed growth, no market involved. If your full retirement benefit at 67 is $2,000 monthly, waiting until 70 means $2,400 a month for life. That's a permanent increase of $400 every month just for the wait.
Here's the layer most people miss. Delaying Social Security often means pulling more from your investments early on, but that can actually lower your overall tax burden. You might withdraw from taxable accounts or do conversions while you're in a lower tax bracket. These early years become a tax planning opportunity. By the time required distributions kick in later, you've already optimized things. The result is a smoother tax bill across your entire retirement. Treat health and connection like investments. Your physical health and social connections aren't just nice to haves in retirement. Research is clear. They're the strongest predictors of how long you live and how well you live. People who stay socially engaged show dramatically lower rates of depression and cognitive decline. 20 to 30 minutes of movement daily cuts chronic disease risk significantly. These aren't separate from your financial plan. They're central to it. The practical move? Build these into your calendar the way you built work into your schedule. Schedule lunches, schedule workout time, schedule time with people who matter. Make it non-negotiable. I've seen firsthand how powerfully this matters. When you maintain your body and stay connected, you protect not just your health, but your independence and your dignity in later years. When you don't, no amount of money fully compensates for what you lose. Sort out your legal and medical paperwork. Most people enter retirement without complete legal protection in place. No updated will, no healthcare directive, no power of attorney. That's a serious vulnerability for both you and your loved ones. Here's what needs to exist: a current will that reflects your actual wishes, a healthcare directive stating your medical preferences and who speaks for you if you can't, a power of attorney designating someone to handle financial decisions if needed, and critically, updated beneficiary designations on every account, IRAs, workplace retirement plans, insurance policies, everything. Common mistake? People think their will controls everything. It doesn't. Beneficiary designations override your will. So if your ex-spouse is still listed on a retirement account, they get that money regardless of what your will says. This is work worth doing with a professional. Laws vary by state, and getting it wrong creates problems for the people you love. Protect them by doing it right. Use the early retirement tax window. If you're retired but not yet claiming Social Security and not yet taking required distributions, you're in a rare opportunity, a low-income tax year. This is valuable real estate. You might have income of just $60,000 or $70,000, far below your working years. That opens a door, converting money from a traditional IRA to a Roth IRA while staying in a lower tax bracket. You might convert $30,000 or $40,000 or $50,000 and still stay well within reasonable tax rates. Why do this? Roth accounts grow tax-free. You can access the money whenever you want. You're not forced to take distributions later. This means more control over your tax situation when Social Security and required distributions finally kick in, which matters for Medicare premiums and how much of your Social Security gets taxed. The goal is reducing your lifetime tax burden. There's no one-size-fits-all formula, but if you're in this early window, it's worth exploring with someone who knows the numbers. Protect your accounts from fraud. Scammers specifically target retirees. They assume you have accessible retirement funds, you might not monitor accounts daily, and they might be able to pressure you into mistakes. The defenses are straightforward. Turn on multi-factor authentication everywhere. That extra step stops most hackers. Use a password manager so you're not using the same password across multiple sites. Freeze your credit with the bureaus. It's free and prevents someone from opening accounts in your name. Many brokerages now let you designate a trusted contact, someone they can call if suspicious activity appears. They get no access to your money. It's just an early warning system. You've worked too long and saved too carefully to let fraud undo it. These steps take minutes but matter enormously. Don't miss Medicare deadlines. When you turn 65, you have exactly 7 months to enroll in Medicare Part B if you're not covered through an employer. That's 3 months before your birthday month, the month itself, and 3 months after. Miss that window and you'll face a 10% penalty for every year you delay. That penalty lasts for life. Start researching Medigap and Medicare Advantage plans now. Some states restrict switching plans later without medical review, so early decisions matter more than you think. Rebalance and build in flexibility. As you approached retirement, you probably shifted toward a more conservative portfolio, more bonds, less stock exposure. That's reasonable. But setting it and forgetting it is a mistake even in retirement. Markets move. A portfolio targeting 60% stocks, 40% bonds might drift to 70-30 after a strong stock year. Suddenly, you're carrying more risk than intended. Rebalancing at least annually keeps you aligned with your actual plan. The second piece, your withdrawals need flexibility too. If the market drops significantly, maybe you withdraw less and tap your cash bucket instead. That lets your stocks recover without being forced to sell at losses. The goal isn't perfection, it's sustainability and the ability to adjust when life requires it. Retirement isn't a single event. It's a multi-year journey where you'll make adjustments. That's not failure. That's exactly how it works. These first 12 months set a powerful foundation. You're not just managing money, you're building the life you've been working toward. Get these pieces in place and you've positioned yourself for both financial security and genuine fulfillment. Stay informed. This is USA Tax.